Welcome back. The government of St. Lucia continues to secure the future of the island's agricultural sector on many fronts. Among the efforts is the Economic Resilience and Recovery Plan. Since the implementation of the plans, major gains have been realized in the sector as the government continues to provide assistance to farmers.
The government of St. Lucia, understanding the importance of water storage in light of climate change, recently donated a total of 190 tanks to farmers across St. Lucia. The Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives noted that the initiative will benefit a great number of producers in implementing climate-smart measures to ensure the sustainability of their enterprises. Minister Joseph expressed gratitude to all stakeholders involved in the procurement of water tanks for the farmers.
I know resources are limited, and I understand that, but let's see if we can at least scratch some more resources somewhere to see if we can get some more tanks, especially knowing, like you said, it has been manufactured locally, and the whole COVID environment that we're under right now is creating employment, stimulating economic activities in the country. So I want to see to Mr. Bryce, who is the manufacturers of the tank, his company. Thank you very much. I'm sure there's some arrangements within him and your department. I want to say to the Department of Economic Development, through you, Mr. Descartes, thank you very much for considering in your repurposing of resources, considering agriculture. And I want to say to the young farmer here, continue the good works. Feel free to contact your extension officer, work closely with your extension officer.
Honorable Ezekiel Joseph explained that this initiative also forms part of the mandate of the Department of Agriculture to assist young farmers in becoming more efficient and sustainable.
As a government, we have, under my leadership, we have done a lot to assist our farmers, especially our small farmers. I remembered we had what we call a Youth in Agricultural program. And my experience working with young farmers, they have two major challenges. And I say major, marketing, which I'll speak to in a while, is another challenge. But two major challenges. One, the availability of resources for them to be able to invest in the initiatives that they have decided to get involved in. And the other one is land. And that is why when we developed the Youth in Agricultural program and we approached the CARICOM Development Fund to get grant funding of $3.2 million, that was the mindset we have. How can we assist our young farmers who are interested in agriculture and who we can, educate and train in new technology? Because what we are realizing is that our agricultural land is diminishing, our population is increasing, our age of our farmers are getting older and older, and we need to introduce young farmers into agriculture. But how we assist them? And that was the mindset and the thinking behind the initiative of the Youth in Agricultural program.
The Minister for Agriculture reaffirmed the government of St. Lucia's commitment to ensuring a more resilient agricultural sector, whilst also enhancing livelihoods for rural farmers with a focus on both livestock and crops. For the Information Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
The second phase of the GEF, SGP, UNDP Knowledge Fair and the UWI Open Campus St. Lucia Country Conference 2020-2021, which included the first ever National Honey Show Training Workshop, have been hailed a success. The UWI Open Campus St. Lucia, in collaboration with the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP, hosted the 4th Country Conference under the theme, Visioning Sustainable Futures, Confronting the Threats of Climate Change and Climate Variability. It provided a platform to share existing research and disseminate information on St. Lucia. Commenting on the close of the 3-day conference, UWI Open Campus St. Lucia's head of site, Leslie Crane Mitchell, opined that while it was their 4th country conference, it was the very first virtual conference.
It was our 4th country conference, but of course it was our very first virtual country conference, in keeping with the various protocols that we now all have to follow. The conference was a wonderful success. It took place over a 3-day period. It began on the 15th, the evening on the 15th, with an opening ceremony.
The conference saw presentations focused on a range of climate change-related topics, including historical and future trends in climate-related hazards, St. Lucia's climate policy environment towards concrete action, and the impact of climate change on fisheries and aquaculture.
All of them focused on climate change, but you basically had key areas represented. So the solar challenge, for example, that is facing the region, that was a big one that was focused on by the OECS. The huge problem that we've got with sargassum in all of the islands of our region, really, and of course in St. Lucia in particular, was paid a lot of attention to. We also had a number of presentations, also from the OECS and Ministry of Sustainable Development, which focused more on the various policies that need to be put in place if we are going to make any inroads on the climate change problem that we are currently experiencing. So we did have a wide cross-section, and we had a very interesting one which looked at more the spiritual impact of climate change on all of us in the region. It was a very special presentation by our very own UWI PhD candidate, and it really lent a very special touch to the proceedings, because there is a tendency to view climate change as strictly an economic, political, even, and of course a scientific issue, but there is also, of course, the whole social and spiritual impact as well. So it really was all encompassing, and a very, very rewarding few days.
The National Honey Show Training Workshop is also being hailed a success by the organizers. The two-day event was undertaken to prepare beekeepers and various others in the sector to participate in the island's first ever National Honey Show, scheduled to take place in December of 2021. The president of the Ayanola Apiculture Collective, Richard Mathias, stated that this is the first activity of its kind directed at St. Lucia and regional beekeepers.
We had a number of very interesting facilitators over the two-day period. Day one, we had Jennifer Holmes, who is an international honey judge. She's based in Florida. And then she gave us a really good in-depth 3 hours, or 3 to 4 hours on really how to prepare yourself for the various different categories. Carla Essen on day two, she gave a nice 1 hour presentation on rules and regulations and more on the mechanics of how we set up the honey show. But I think two Caribbean facilitators really stole the show. Gladstone Solomon from Trinidad and Tobago, and Dr. Valma Jessamy from Grenada. Gladstone has participated, or has spearheaded Trinidad's participation in the London Honey Show for at least from, I think, 1987 to either 2000 or 2005, where Trinidad has won, participants from Trinidad have won a number of different categories, or they've placed in a number of different categories. Dr. Valma Jessamy from Grenada, who is a multiple winner of the Hender Cup also. And she has been a real trailblazer for the Caribbean and diversifying the honey product from the region into a more value-added area. So it was really good to have her on board as a presenter.
With a very positive response from participants locally and from around the region, Mathias now feels compelled to make the island's first honey show a success, and concluded that a second seminar will be hosted midway towards the competition date in order to ready participants for the honey show.
We still need to do some more groundwork locally to get our beekeepers really ready and prepared, so that we can really have a really competitive environment. So there's everybody's fully understands the rules and regulations, and we probably have another seminar in June. This is a refresher, and to really get everybody acquainted with the rules and regulations, and to get better idea of the numbers of people that will be participating in this year's competition. But at least by setting the stage early in the year in February, beekeepers have an opportunity to start setting aside their best honey or preparing for the various different categories from now. So at least they've got the whole season to really prepare and put aside what they think is going to be their best honey for competition.
Pleased with the success of the events, the national coordinator, Giles Romulus, indicated that it is the intention of GEF, SGP, UNDP that these activities serve as a fillip for the development of the apiculture industry in St. Lucia and the OECS. Stay with us. The latest weather report is coming up after the break.